guys. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the support. If you haven't done so yet, please like, subscribe, and share. We got an interesting topic today. Um, as most of you know, I've mentioned before in the past, I get a ton of DMs. I'm open to all the DMs. I reply to all of them. I encourage anybody who has any questions, anything I can help with, please, go ahead, shoot me a DM, and I'll try and point you in the right direction or help you out. Most of my DMs are coming in now in the form of requests for online coaching / personal training. And as any of you know that have reached out to me thus far, I have kind of turned down those requests, unfortunately, because my life is a living zoo. And I have several jobs that I have to log hours in, and I got several side hustles that require hours as well. And for me to, in good conscience, provide online coaching for arm wrestling or general strength, I couldn't do it in good conscience because I don't believe I could get the energy needed. So lo and behold, I've made a relationship with a young man that we have on today by the name of Levi Knight. He is, in fact, an arm wrestler ranked in the top 20 at 154 in the Hook rankings. So I think what is going to separate, and we're going to give Levi an opportunity to explain what he's doing here. But based off of what I've learned in my discussions with Levi, I'm a believer that he is on the right track for arm wrestlers. And what's so unique about Levi is his niche is 100% arm wrestling. Now, obviously, he is an ISSA certified strength coach for general strength bodybuilding movements, but he is also a professional arm wrestler, and he's a certified nutritionist / dietitian. So he can hit pretty much every aspect of arm wrestling, from a general strength aspect to an arm wrestling specific, to match breakdown, to match review, to match prep, to weight cut, to diet, all of these things. And this is his full-time job. So I can, with good conscience, recommend Levi for a general strength, but not only that, in the arm wrestling niche. What we all want is specific stuff. And I'm going to let Levi get into a bunch of detail, but just to give you a preface, Levi's program that he's put together obviously will be specific for you, but it's based off of the West Side Barbell Conjugate Method that has been made famous in the arm wrestling community by the one and only Todd Hutchings, a gentleman who got into arm wrestling late in his career at 35 and has become unbelievable and at the highest levels of our sport. I personally have not followed the conjugate method, but I do in fact believe in it. The proof is in the pudding with Todd, and the proof is in the pudding with Westside Barbell in general. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and say a big thanks and a big welcome to our guest here, Levi Knight. Levi, I know I tried to do my best to give you an introduction, but fill us in on the things I might have missed.
Heck yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time too, coming on and offering me your platform and getting to talk with you about this as well. I think you did great, man. You made me look really good talking about it like that. I need to just let you talk about it all the time. So yeah, I got into arm wrestling a little over 4 years ago. I was into bodybuilding about 4 years before that. It all started with a girl. I had a crush. I heard her refer to me as the little guy to her friend. At 22 years old, I feel like that's something every 22-year-old needs in their life. That was like some necessary bullying that came in at a really clutch time. I started working out, learning how to eat, and I hired myself a bodybuilding coach that was a certified nutritionist. And within a year and a half, I changed the way I looked completely, and I was able to ignore a text message from that young girl. That kind of was all where it started. But with bodybuilding, I never had any aspirations. It was never something I wanted to do, to get spray tan and getting a pair of underwear on a stage next to a bunch of other dudes in underwear. It's just not something I think about doing regularly. So I never did compete, never was going to compete. But when I found arm wrestling, it was at a crucial time. I felt like the gym and fitness in general was my first avenue to self-development I found as a young man. And arm wrestling extended off of that. I'm a firm believer that when it comes to competition against man, you can't lie to yourself about the work that's been done. The results show. It's the most genuine representation of who's put in the work that comes. So through arm wrestling, it's been another avenue to continue self-improvement. And I see a lot of guys that have gotten into the sport, changed their lives, and got around on it completely just because of having arm wrestling as that anchor. So I want to feed into that. I see a lot of guys have changed their life, made a lot of friendships. I've made a ton of great friendships through it too. It just so happens I'm also really hungry to be the best. Number one in North America is my goal. I would love to have you coaching me in my corner at East versus West and be over there with Ing and Tersey. That'd be super cool. But with big goals, there's a few things that get in the way of those. Some people don't have the motivation or the accountability. Somebody don't have the right strategy and the program that's going to take them to where they want to be. And then some people, their nutrition's not right. So in order to seal those up where we could get more people to that top level, I'm now offering the certification is in nutrition. I'm not actually a certified dietitian. You made me look a little too good there. I can't actually do a full meal plan, but I do custom grocery lists, meal prep, and recipe instructions. I've even filmed videos of me making 15 or 20 of these delicious meals. So it's completely like do it with you. There's no questions to be asked completely. And then I also go as far as to do going out to eat menus. If my clients will let me know 30 minutes ahead of time what restaurant they're going to, I'll go Google and scan the menu and then give them a menu of choices from that restaurant that fit their goals as well. With the workouts, like you said, Westside Barbell, I keep my system a little more simple, especially with guys first coming in as they get a little more, as they level up, some things get a little more difficult and change a little more. But the main focus of my training is around 6 fundamental movements, right? And I believe that we can list them in order of importance, and we should train the ones that are higher on that list of importance. So I think it's cup, rise, pronation, supination, side pressure, and then a dragon style back pressure. So we use the speed day and the max effort day. We rotate these. We do 4 different speed days, 3 different max effort days. Every week you get 4 chances to break a PR, 2 different lifts, right and left. I use an app called True Coach where it lets me track all the workouts. I keep up with everybody's numbers. I can even make a graph showing them how much stronger they got. This program has accountability, like you said. I do one-on-one Zoom calls every 30 minutes, every week for 30 minutes. I do text message support. Every one of my guys has my numbers. They text me throughout the days. I can go. I keep my table and cable set up on my front porch, so it's nothing for me to just jump up and go film a workout so that they know they're doing it right. If someone texts me and needs it. Like you said, we do match breakdowns. I do hour-long Zoom calls. I like to do them a Monday right after a competition, so everything's really fresh. And then that week, I like to deload everybody the week after a competition before ramping back up. So during that deload week, we get to do a lot of thinking and strategizing to coming up with the adjustments necessary to avoid the same mistakes made in the past. So with everything I'm saying here, I think we're covering all the bases. If there's guys out there looking for some help, I'm on my way to the top, and I want to bring as many of them with me.
Nailing it. And guys, this is exactly why I can't do this, right? So, I went to school and did all the good stuff. I got a master's in exercise physiology. I don't have the time to do what Levi's doing. And this is next level stuff. This is full-time career stuff. And which I think is super awesome because now we are entering in true arm wrestling specific online coaching. Now, obviously, you can get online coaching from a number of different notable arm wrestlers. But I highly, highly doubt that coaching is going to be as comprehensive and time consuming and as professional as this approach. I believe that to be wholeheartedly true based off of what I've learned from other people who have done online coaching. It's not necessarily all about the program, although the conjugate method is tried and true. I think the accountability piece, the nutrition piece, and the actual like pre-match and post-match breakdown is super important. Those check-in times, those accountability pieces, those are the things that quite often those of us who know how to train are still missing. I mean, there's been plenty of arm wrestlers reach out to me that are at a relatively high or very high level that are looking for these same type of services. But what I've come to find is it's usually the accountability piece that most of us are missing. Early on, it might be the structure, it might be the detail. Like if you're new and you really want to understand this sport and the movements of the sport, you are going to get that firsthand with Levi, all those movements specifically explained through videos and Zoom. I don't have the time to do that. So that's off the plate for me. I'll reply to your messages. You ask me a question, it might take me a couple of days, but I get back to them, but not in such that it would be a full-time job like this. So I do believe that this is one of those things that is going to carry our sport to the next level. So Levi, I mean, you really covered most of the stuff. Do you have anything like visual, representation of maybe a program or an app or anything like that that you might be able to share? And before we even get into that, let's talk about where people can reach out to you because I know we're a couple minutes into this. Sometimes people tune out. How can you be found? How can your services be garnered?
Yeah, for sure. On Facebook, I'm Levi Fit. Send me a message on Facebook Messenger on Instagram. It's Levi Knight Fitness. You can send me a message there. I got Levi Fit on TikTok. I've got them. I've got a YouTube is Levi Fit as well. Reach out to me on any one of them. I check my messages regularly, really prompt with getting back to them really quick. And also something that we talked about before going live here or before recording was I want to make a deal here with everybody that watches Paul's channel, all of his subscribers that see this. I want to make it sweeter for y'all too. If you send me a message and say Paul Linn 10, I'll give you 10% off of it. It's a big deal. If you sign up for a whole year, that can be a savings. It's worth it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. 10% off of anything. I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, guys, if you guys are interested, man, you can use my code, don't use my code, whatever it may be. But like it would be nice to know that we are kind of answering some of those questions. And I'd be interested to see how many people come back from this because I do think this is something that is going to take our sport to the next level, something that's needed. We need professional coaches. We need people that are doing this full time from the coaching perspective and also having the competitor back. So I think that's awesome. So Levi, you got anything like visual, maybe that, representation?
I'm currently in the process of building a website and putting a bunch of different transformation pictures and stuff on there. I don't currently have it yet, but it is a work in the progress for sure. I'm trying to get it right before I drop it for sure. It's taking some work on. I've got some help with it. But yeah, that's coming. It's in the process. A lot of the stuff I do, a lot of educational content on Instagram and Facebook. So a lot of just scrolling up and down my page, you get to see a lot of workout videos. You see from gym stuff to structured arm wrestling training. You get to hear me talk about water cut breakdown. I do a lot of educational purposes as well, for sure. Even if you don't sign up for coaching, so follow me. Maybe you'll learn something,
Right. I mean, and I'll tell you what, I love that arm wrestling has really developed into a sport that now has, so many different classes. We got novice, we got amateur. Some parts of the country have semi-pro. We really have a form league structure where you can move up. These types of things are potential big leaps of faith into like, all right, where do I want to go with this sport? If you're an aspiring pro, I mean, to me, this is the feet to the fire commitment that's saying, all right, I am going to go ahead and invest in myself and I am going to put my feet to the fire and I'm going to open myself up to the accountability of a coach.
Yeah, and you said something really good there. You said invest in yourself. So like you, I'm sure you've done before I started this, I was helping people with workouts and grocery lists and meal prep all at one point, just before even arm wrestling, just coworkers and cousins. I had like 8 people bringing a notebook to the gym once a week. I would write up their workouts, write up their grocery lists, everything. And what would happen is I would be able to help people for about 3 or 4 weeks. And then they would just fizzle out and they lost motivation. Now that I've put a price tag on my services, people have some skin in the game and I get to help them more.
Right.
Because when you have some skin in the game, you take it serious.
Sometimes that commitment or that investment will hold us accountable beyond. I mean, the old Planet Fitness membership that happens, at New Year's or in prep for the beach that only costs $10 a month and you just leave it running forever and not worry about it. That don't really hold our feet to the fire. Plus, the constant engagement to me, I think is a very important thing. Yeah. Quite often, anybody who's doing anything competitive, we've all dealt with lack of intrinsic motivation. The people who usually succeed the most either have the most motivational coaches or support team or surroundings, or they were blessed with intrinsic motivation. There's nothing wrong with not having that intrinsic motivation. I think we all need to be held accountable in some fashion. Some people can hold themselves accountable based off of the fear or hatred of losing or the desire to win. Others of us need maybe team members or a bigger thing or an overarching thing to really go after that's going to drive us. But at the end of the day, every workout is better when you know somebody you can't really hide from it. If it's just you, if you're training with a partner, your partner sees what you do. If you got a coach and you got to check back in with them, you're probably going to go a little bit harder. That's just how it works.
That's right. So I ask that's right. I didn't mean to interrupt you. And I ask all the questions. So like, in order for you to do this or not do this, you have to lie to me to my face because we get on Zoom calls every week. Most people are just not going to lie. It's hard. I'll tell you something else, bigger picture, like you're saying, the sport's growing and this is a step to the sport going to another level. This is a business, so like any business, eventually there comes a time for needing tax write-offs, right? My goal is bigger picture is to be able to sponsor my athletes, my clients that are training under this program, and I know they are training hard. Sponsor them, pay for them a hotel room and a plane ticket to go across the country and go move up, right?
Right. That's excellent.
That's
Love it.
that'll be my way to give back one day for sure. Is I will be flying some people all over the country.
All right, man. Hey, look, man, it's been wonderful. We're gonna keep it brief. I'm gonna put it out to everybody again. Paul Linn 10% off if you choose to go with Levi's services. If you cannot find Levi online, please feel free to DM me and I'll look you up. We'll make a little group chat or whatever it may be. But we'll get you linked up with him one way or another. He's been at this here for a minute. He's got a nice book of clients right now. Some decent names that are already very notable in the arm wrestling community in North America. This is not just for North Americans. I get so many messages from around the world for people looking for online arm wrestling coach. Guys, as long as you can communicate in English in some fashion, whether through translator or not, Levi's services are there for you. And that doesn't exclude any country out there. So if you're willing, if you're interested in investing in yourself or taking that next step, I apologize first and foremost that I personally can't help you, but I feel very comfortable and very confident in putting you in Levi's hands. I believe in what he's doing. So again, if you have any interest, please feel free to look up him on any of those platforms that he mentioned. And if not, you can go ahead and reach out to me, Levi, if you want to cover those platforms one more time before we close.
Yeah, Levi Knight Fitness on Instagram, Levi Fit on Facebook, Levi Fit on TikTok. I answer messages on all of them. Shoot me a message. I'd love to help you out.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. It's been wonderful. If you have any questions or anything that I can answer on this topic, again, please feel free to reach out and I can link you up. But thank you for your time, and we'll check back in soon.